quite thin, but I'm kind of happy with that. Means I will have to do a lot of cutting into the bowl, but that comes with a bigger project. So I can actually move things a little bit up because my cuts are thinner. I like the thickness of the blade just to be the lip of the lid that goes into the box. So I'll probably make my cut right next to it. And I know I've made them like quite far apart, but I like to more calculate more than I actually need. So while I'm working with the wood, I can see how much room I've got left, and those markers, they're easily going to be scraped off anyway. You notice the RPM is dropping. That's because I'm starting to cut so deep into that the wood is catching on the sides of the blade. Now that's also because I've got it electronically set to a low RPM, so the engine actually doesn't have the full 3/4 horsepower. So two things I'm going to do now. I'm going to just speed up the lathe a little bit, just to give the engine a little bit more of a boost, and then again I'm going to create a little bit of space for the blade to pass through so it won't jam as much, because with a higher speed you have more risk of burning the wood with the tool. So we got basically our parts cut out and even where we're going to separate it. But before I separate, I need to make sure that when I'm going to hollow out this part, I have something to clamp in the chuck. So, and I almost forgot, but it's a good thing that I just left enough in the center to remain turning. So I'm going to make a small edge here and up to here, so I have some room to clamp this into the chuck. So that's also another reason why you have to stop once in a while and think what you're doing, what you're planning. If you've done this 100 times, you do this in one go. There. Now I have my ridge to flip around the box part. So we're ready to separate all the pieces, because we got a rim on the cover of the box, and we got a temporary rim here to do the cutting into the box. So we're ready to separate further. Just checking my tool, sharp enough. So my first separation is going to be here, and then this is going to be my second separation, so I'm just going to move up my tool rest. Okay, check if we're running clear. Okay, my snap-off point over there is quite thin, so I'm going to make this snap-on point just as thin, because if I'm going to snap off, I'm going to snap off all the pieces in one go. Make life a little bit easier on ourselves. Now we've got both snap-off points really tight here, so I'm going to snap off the pieces. So first, I think it's going to come off pretty easily. This piece, I'll just that's easy enough. That's easy enough. Checkers, anybody? Right, so I'm just going to take my sharp chisel and just give it a little tap. Right. Same as here. Not as really important on this side, but there we go, that's the lid done. Now we got this lovely pinkish color in here, so I'm really hoping that is going to really show up as we're going to get started on creating the inside of the box. But since we have the lid in here, I want to finish up with the lid. I just want to smooth out the rim here of the lid, because I'm looking at it and it's a bit tapered. I don't like it to be that much tapered, so or actually it is tapered but the wrong way. So for stability we can move in the center point. Let's see how far it will go out. Not very much, but okay. Just have to make it fit. Don't really need it when we're working like this, but it just, you know, gives a little bit more stability. So I like to be on the safe side. Okay, so we put our tool rest there, and then now we're going to clean up this rim a bit. Right, I can already see how thick my walls are going to be, and this is actually, that is pretty thin to work with, so I'm going to take some off Going to do it on a slightly higher speed. Make sure it's tapered correctly. So, okay, that's all good. Okay, we have this one still on lock. I didn't check the rotation. My bad. Okay. I'm going to give it some higher speed because I want a very clean cut on the lip of the lid. I'm just going to check. I've got a pretty good rim there. It's just a little bit sharp on the edge there. I just want to clean that up a bit. I'm taking my wide blade. I'm just going to round it off very gently. Basically just dust coming off, and make it really smooth round. Right, that actually looks pretty good. I'm pleased with that. Now I do also want some more rounder edge on the lid itself. That actually shows up that completed, that it is a lid, that it's very obvious. So I'm going to round that off with my rod tool as well. And I'm going to round off the top here. So there we have our lid. Now notice these chucks have two holes. There's actually a point to them. So if you're going to tighten it up, use the both, try to feel, the momentum on the strength, and use both chucks so you have a nice clean and even grip on the tool. Right, once you have it gripped in, it's always good just to have like a spin up just to see if you're in balance. So you hardly feel any vibration, so we've got a good mount there. It means we can get started with hollowing out the box.